Goodman. What makes you think you're qualified for this job?
Oh! Ah! Stop punching me! Please, don't throw me!
No, not that fish.
Don't touch me! Get off of me! Don't throw me out!
Next.
Here it is, huh? Get it?
Just let your body move. I'm a love guru.
Hi, my name is Kristine Johnson, and I'm joined by my colleague Shay Walker. And we're with you today to talk to you about the power of positive teams. The video that you just saw was a funny illustration that shows us that teamwork really does make the dream work. I've been on teams my entire life. Some were good, some were bad. I've been on a number of ministry teams and mission teams, and the teams that were positive were so much greater and accomplished so much more than those that were not. My very first mission trip was to Brazil. I was 16. My team was full of kids and leaders who did not know the purpose of the trip. They put the mission and team before their own personal needs. They didn't complain when there was no hot water or when the workday became exhausting. We had a job to do, and we knew that if everyone worked together, we would make a difference. I'm still in contact with several of the people from that team nearly 30 years later, and we all live all over the country. I've also taken 4 mission trips to Haiti. The last one was a total disaster. Half of the people on the team seemed to think they were on vacation and were getting drunk in the evenings, not waking up for team devotions, and not doing their part of the work, stating they were too tired or it was too hot out. They cared about their own desires more than their team or the mission. Much was left undone. All of these people live within 10 minutes of me, and I have virtually no relationship with any of them. So you see, the team with the positive attitude towards the team and the team mission was the team that saw success and lasting friendships. John Gordon, best-selling author of The Energy Bus and The Power of Positive Leadership, gives us another bestseller, The Power of a Positive Team. In this book, he discusses principles and practices that are proven to make teams great. The author uses a number of sports illustrations in this book. Even if you're not a sports fan, the team concept comes shining through in his stories. The premise of this book is that no one creates success alone. He states that we're better together, and together we accomplish great things. The intention of this book is for teams to read it together. Through Gordon's many years of being a part of teams and through interviewing people who have been part of great teams, he has put together a set of principles and practices to help teams learn, grow, unite, and act together.
The power of positive. Positivity is more than a state of mind. It's a power that gives teams a competitive advantage in business, sports, creativity, and life. During my freshman year at Cairn, I believe that the greatest example of positivity and its effects on a team was that of Coach Bill. Coach Bill was hired as the assistant softball coach halfway through my freshman season. Coach Bill was always very upbeat. He listened and asked about each player's personal lives. He got to know us. He taught us fun new drills and got us out of the same practice routine that we had been doing all semester. He gained our trust. He desired our performance to be better and communicated that to us. He was not simply blindly optimistic, but he faced the reality of our situation instead of blindly ignoring them. I encourage you to try and think of someone in your own life who has at one time shown you what it truly means to be positive. Why positivity matters. We all more than likely have worked in a team setting where we found ourselves in a struggling team. Launching new ideas, products, movies, missions, or organizations is not always a walk in the park or a piece of cake. These things are not easy. We face adversity, tests, and frustration that block our way to success. There are moments where we simply just want to give up and abandon the project completely. This is why becoming a positive team is so very important. When we talk about positivity in a team setting, it is not just blind optimism or positivity created by rose-colored glasses where one ignores the reality of situations. Instead, positive teams confront the reality of these challenging situations and work together to overcome them. The future belongs to those who believe in it and work with one another with a positive attitude and use it to create the future. Research conducted by Manju Puri and David Robinson at Duke University found that optimistic people were more likely to succeed in business, sports, and politics. John Gottman, a relationship expert, found that marriages are more likely to succeed when a couple experiences a 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. When these interactions reach a 1-to-1 ratio, the couple is more likely to end in divorce. What does positivity bring to the table? People want to be around the positive. So, if you are a positive person, people want to be around you and work with you. Think of those people in your life through school or through work who you just really enjoy doing projects with, or simply just working on homework with in the library, or asking them to check over your work. These people are more than likely positive people. Positivity can attract talent and people who will devote more time to shared projects. They will offer new ideas, information, and opportunities. You want your team to become a positive feedback loop for one another. Your team, after doing so, will become more engaged and more likely to overcome challenges and adversity. Your team will be unified. The purpose and vision will be established and clear, and performance will soar along with creativity and innovation. Robert Cross said, "The more you energize people in your workplace, the higher your work performance." Do positive teams happen by accident? No, positive teams do not happen by accident. They occur when team members invest their time and energy to create positive culture. These cultures embrace clear communication, connections, and relationships. They embrace commitment and encouragement. Kristine will follow up with more on positive culture in Chapter 2. Please at this time, pause the video here and answer the reflection questions for Chapter 1.
All right, well, we've all had days like that baby, haven't we? Maybe not quite as bad as this particular baby's day, but if you notice in this cute little video, his attitude is everything. He chose to be happy even though everything was going wrong. And in Chapter 2, Gordon talks about positivity and how to create a positive culture in your team. So in Chapter 2, he says that behind every great team is a strong culture, great leadership, and passionate, committed people. Team culture is what a team believes, what they value, and what they do. It dictates how they communicate, connect, think, work, and act. If you want to build a great team, you need to be a great culture. Brad Stevens, the former head coach of the Boston Celtics, once said, "Your culture is not just your tradition. It's the people in the locker room who carry it on." Teams are constantly creating culture by what they do, say, and think. Teams also need to protect their culture. If it's not nourished, it can be lost. Teams often look to leadership to define the culture. But without the rest of the people bringing the culture to life, it's meaningless. Culture is a living, breathing entity. You can change it by what you say. A simple, I'll handle that for you, as opposed to, why should I have to do extra work, can change the course of a meeting from going negative to positive. Proverbs 18:21 says that the power of the tongue is life and death. The Message says it like this, and I love the way the Message says it. Words kill, words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You choose. You can elevate culture by what you think. Studies have shown that positive thinking helps heart patients because there's a strong mind and body connection. Other people have been known to have panic attacks initiated simply by their negative thoughts. What we think and what we feel, what we do, is all part of our culture. Okay, so every time we think positively, every time we feel positively, time we do something positively, we're adding towards a positive culture. Reversely, every time we have negative thoughts or negative attitudes, we're contributing towards a negative culture. So you can improve culture by what you share. When we share our knowledge with others rather than hoarding it, we're helping each other grow and learn. And you can transform culture by what you do. Gordon wrote a book called The Energy Bus. He notes that people often tell him that they work for a negative organization, but they'd really like to turn it around for the positive. He tells them that they may not be the one driving the big bus, but they can make their own bus great. So start with creating a positive culture in your own team and watch that trickle down through the rest of the organization. Gordon once interviewed Peter Smith, who, as a tennis coach for the University of Southern California, won 4 national championships from 2009 to 2012. He asked him what made his teams great. He didn't talk about the talent. He talked about how one of the players, probably the greatest college player of all time, Steven Johnson, bought into the team culture, and the team bought into Steve, and in turn, into the culture. They had a culture of love, accountability, family, and respect. It wasn't only about the talent. He also interviewed another tennis coach, Brian Boland of the University of Virginia. He had a talented team as well, and they often made it to the finals. They couldn't secure a championship. But then in 2013, and for the next 5 years, they won 4 championships. When Gordon asked him what happened, Boland said, I changed. We changed. He made the culture the focus, and the team became process focused instead of outcome focused. When the right processes are in place, reaching the desired outcome becomes so much easier. Now, the Miami Heat, as you know, if you follow sports, hasn't always been the most talented team in the NBA. But when Gordon spoke to the head coach at the time, Eric Spoelstra, he talked about how he used to spend 100% of his time studying film when the season ended. But now he spends most of his time on culture. Even when they don't have the most talented players, they can have a cohesive team with a great culture. Talent's important, but teams with great talent and poor culture often find themselves unsuccessful. They focus on the outcome or the fruit rather than on watering the root. The culture, the people, the relationships, and the process. The fruit is a byproduct of how well you invest in the root. The Bible often talks about fruit and roots. Psalm 1 says, Blessed is the man whose hope is in the Lord. He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in season, and its leaf does not wither. In all he does, he prospers. So encourage your team to invest in the root. Gordon also says that we're contagious, that the energy we put into our team and our culture determines its quality. The Heart Math Institute has done research that's shown when you have a feeling in your heart, it goes out to every cell in the body and outward. People up to 10 feet away can sense those feelings. So every day we're broadcasting to our teams how we feel. Our moods are contagious, both good and bad. So we can choose to be a germ, bringing bad moods, or choose to be a dose of vitamin C, bringing a positive mood. You can share positive energy even if you're not an extrovert. You can simply broadcast from your heart love and positive energy, pouring it from a fountain rather than draining the energy from others. We can't expect others to create our culture. You and your team have the power within to create a positive culture. A positive team who creates a positive culture is well on their way to achieving positive results. And at the same time, outside forces will try to sabotage your culture, as well as negativity on the inside of the team. So be on guard and protect your culture. At one point in his career, Gordon had the opportunity to speak with Southwest Airlines, and they had several consultants suggest that they charge for checked luggage and to add an additional source of revenue into their business. But they asked themselves, is this what we stand for? Their purpose statement is to connect people to what's important in their lives through friendly, reliable, and low cost air travel. Instead of losing revenue, they found that they gained more passengers because they didn't upcharge for the checked baggage. Once you know what you stand for and you know what you want to be known for, it's easy to make decisions. When you know what you want to be, you can create a culture to become it. So if you want to take a moment to pause the video and just take a look at these reflection questions for chapter 2 and write down your answers on your worksheet, we'll be glad to come back to you. You'll hear from Shay in chapter 3 in just a minute when you restart your video.
Positive teams work together toward a shared vision with a greater purpose. When you know your why and you know the way, you won't let obstacles get in the way. As a leader and a team member, you should know the plan, embrace the plan, and relentlessly work toward the plan. Team success starts with a shared vision of where you are going and a greater purpose of why you are going there. Shared vision is key number 1. A team needs a shared vision that unites and inspires them all individually and collectively. This one vision serves as the guiding North Star. It moves everyone in the same direction. You continuously want to point your teammates in this direction, and they, in turn, should point you in that same direction as well. You all should be able to say, "We were here yesterday, but this is where we are going." Egos are deflated due to the fact that everything is done to serve the vision and mission. Think about a team in your life today. What is your vision individually? And think about the vision that your teammates possibly might have. Are they the same or are they different? There will be challenges, and there is no perfect set of plans or a perfect map to guide you, but you will have a North Star. Together, keep your eyes on that North Star and move toward it together to reach your vision. Vision plus mission. It can be a good thing for a team to combine its mission and vision statements into one statement. Essentially, each member should be able to look at the North Star and say, "This is where we are going, and this is why we are going there. This is what we are creating together, and this is why we are creating it." You can also combine your mission and vision statements because you can have a great vision statement, but if people are not on its mission, then the vision becomes lost and forgotten. This can ultimately lead to burnout. Remembering the purpose and being on a mission will generate energy. Greater purpose is key number 2. Research shows that people are most energized when they are using their strengths for a bigger purpose, a purpose that goes beyond themselves as individuals. The focus is to not only have a shared vision, but to also have a greater purpose, and that's what drives the team forward toward the shared vision. The why is also important for you and your team to understand. You want to know why the team exists and the difference your team can make. When each member knows their team's purpose and how they contribute to it, the whole team's energy and passion soars. Purpose-driven goals. We all want the teams we are a part of to be powerful or to hold some level of power. One way to create a powerful team is to have purpose-driven goals. Think of the goals that you hold in your life just day to day. Whether it's to do a certain amount of chores or to do such and such at work. Most of the goals that we hold in our day-to-day lives are numerical goals. However, numbers do not contribute to one's success. Otherwise, everyone would be achieving better sales, more touchdowns, and winning the lottery. Instead, your commitment to the process, your growth, and your purpose drive you to reach goals. That will determine what you accomplish. The truth is that numbers and goals do not drive people. Purpose-driven people drive the numbers and achieve goals. overall, greater purpose will lead to greater performance. Always carry a telescope and a microscope. These are two metaphorical tools to help you on your journey. The telescope helps to keep the bigger picture in view. You can see the North Star and remind those around you where you all are going. Secondly, you need a microscope because the microscope helps you to focus on the present things, the small scale things, the short-term things that you must do in order to realize the vision that has been shown in your telescope. If you only carry a telescope, you will be too busy daydreaming about the future, but not taking the steps to realize your vision. And on the other hand, if you only carry a microscope, you will be working hard and challenges will arise and frustrate you. You will lose sight of the big picture and lose your purpose. Frequently remind your team and yourself of the bigger picture or purpose, and remember to use the microscope daily to focus on what matters most and follow through on your commitments. Bring it to life and keep it alive. So we've talked a lot about purpose and shared vision. Now, how do you go about instilling this in your life and in the lives of your team? You want to bring it to life and keep it alive. To bring it to life, make time to create with your team a shared vision and revisit this vision and mission often. I would recommend having a weekly meeting to remind and discuss the vision and purpose of your team. Take time to envision the future together. Another method is to create tangible reminders of your vision. Print out your vision statement or make an image and post it around the office, etc. Also, you want to keep your vision and purpose alive, not only just create it. So make sure that your vision and purpose holds meaning to each team member. If not everyone is on the bus, stop the bus and reshape your vision and mission and purpose to include them. You also want team members to identify and share how they are contributing and what it means to them. I would recommend in the weekly meeting that I mentioned earlier that you devise a system to allow team members to share what they did each week and how they did it within the meeting. Possibly, I would recommend giving a pad of sticky notes to each member to document what they have accomplished and how they have contributed over the course of a week. Encourage each member to at least have one sticky note to present and talk about during the weekly meeting. This also will create a visual representation and reminder of them so that they know that they are contributing. It is also important to take this into practice in all areas of your life. A method for doing this is called one word. It is a powerful way that helps teams live their vision and mission. Each year, each member of the team picks a word that will inspire them to live with more meaning and mission, passion, and purpose. Every member is then given a chance to speak about why they chose their word and why that word has meaning to them. Again, always remember that everyone should be moving in the same direction or riding the same bus. Even if one person is not moving in the same direction, the power of the team is compromised. So always be sure that everyone is on the bus. At this time, please take a moment to answer the last reflection questions and pause the video here. Thank you. Thank you for listening and watching our presentation. All of the information can be found in the book by John Gordon titled The Power of a Positive Team: Proven Principles and Practice That Make Great Teams Great. We hope that you learned something from our presentation and can take it with you and apply it to your lives as well as any teams that you are a part of.